Hi, I'm Daisy,
Hi, I'm David.
and we're the MSA Crusaders. Hello, MSA Crusaders here today with David and Daisy, episode 14. I want to say happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there that's listening. Thank you for taking the time and listening to our show.
Yeah, hello. Happy Gobble Day.
Go, go. I hope everybody's had their turkey and their turkey naps and feeling real good today.
Yeah, I'm waiting for my mother's world-class stuffing, and then I will go to sleep nice and early.
That trips away from that turkey. So today we're going to share what we're thankful for. And I want to start by saying that I'm thankful for David and being here with MSA Crusaders.
Wow, that's cheating, Daisy. Wow, that's you can't say that. Well, what do I say back to that?
Oh, you can say you're thankful for me too, I guess.
I am. I'm a very different person. Yeah, someone says, "Hey, you're the best." It's like I don't really say it back because it's a compliment to me, and I am, no, Daisy. I'm thankful that you take up a lot of my time with texts and phone calls and spontaneous emails and things like that. So um, it is definitely a pleasure to work with you on a podcast that's dedicated to MSA and giving other
And
people opportunity and hopefully some hope, you know?
it gives me purpose. I feel like it gives me meaning to be able to do this with you and help others, hopefully, and not know what they're going to go through and know that there's support out there for them. We want to be here for all of them.
I can tell you this gives you purpose. I really can because when you asked me to do it, you were so uh, happy and just yearning. I can feel the yearning in your voice and your face to do it. Like you had to do it,
Well,
right?
I have been wanting to for a while, but I did not want to do it by myself. And when I saw your videos, I was like, he's the one. I'm going to ask him.
It,
So I had to reach out to you.
it is hard doing things single. You know, my videos they're not hard. They're time consuming, take a little thought and effort, and putting words together with MSA is definitely hard, as everybody knows, listening to both of us. But yeah, I would say this is probably the event of my year so far is starting a podcast with yourself, being able to
So
get all the
thankful.
reactions.
I'm thankful for you saying yes.
My pleasure, Daisy. My pleasure.
So let's see. I'm thankful for my caregivers and my therapists. They
Without
support
them,
me.
yeah, without them, where would we be, right?
I would not be out here talking. That is for sure. I would be choking on my own words.
That's
But
true.
I love my aquatic therapy therapist. He's also a counselor. It's the only time I get out of the house, so it's really good to have some socializing going along with that aquatic therapy.
Yeah, it's the best. Slow motion and moving those muscles.
You get
I'm,
muscle memory in that water, David. It's really neat.
yeah, I noticed when I was swimming a couple weeks ago off the beach and stuff like out of Miami that it's I felt so much better walking for like the rest of the day and even the next day. And then after I came back to reality in Chicago, it's like back to normal because I don't have those pools and the beaches and stuff.
Well, I have to wear ankle weights because I can't stand up. I float away.
That's hysterical. Hey, well, I mean, you used to go diving for ankle weights back in high school. That was interesting.
He
So
anchors me.
yeah, it keeps you planted. Yeah, they better. We don't want you floating away because I'd have to substitute you with somebody on the podcast.
Oh, no, I can't have that now.
Our local Burger King drive-through person is our sponsor.
Too
uh,
fun. So I love
well,
working with you.
I'll be honest. There's so many things that we can be thankful for, and it gets rhetorical, and that sounds probably bad, but people that know me say that it's not. Um, I don't think we could be thankful for everything equally. I don't, thankful for your wife and your mom and your dad and kids and siblings and priest and
It's significant,
it,
but it has different
yeah,
for each of us.
it's never the same. But if there's one person that has, like for instance, my kids, I'll start off with the easy one, the kids. My two daughters, 18 and 12, have never disappointed me in life. Yeah, they've made mistakes. Everybody has, but they never made detrimental mistakes. They've never done illegal mistakes or things that were I was disappointed in them, right? To be a father or whatever. But my kids, especially having on top of that, coming through MSA, they know that when I ask for something, it's because I have an issue doing it or I can't do it.
You really
And
needed it.
yeah, I mean they're kids, they might take their time in doing the chore and helping you
It's
sometimes.
done.
Yeah, those are kids though, but they are a very vital and energetic and youthful asset to have for someone that has MSA. I will say that.
Well, and I can say I'm different. That aspect. I'm thankful for my kids, but in a different way because, like my son, he's my youngest. He's 28, and tomorrow he's cooking Thanksgiving dinner for a change. It's the other way around. So we'll have to see how that goes. But on the other hand, I'm thankful for him to do that.
You got to. I mean, my kids are really a perfectionist at making homemade crepes now. So, you got your son making Thanksgiving. I got my kids making crepes, and they're because I can't stir like I used to. The mechanism, the motion doesn't work, and it's those little things we take for granted sometimes. Simply making crepes in the kitchen.
Yeah, and my son, he's in the military, so I haven't had Thanksgiving with him since 2018. So it's really going to be nice to be thankful for him to cook the dinner and have everybody at his house and just have him for Thanksgiving.
Is he in the Army?
He's in the Air Force.
Air Force. Ah, there you go. What does he do?
He's a post command officer.
I'll pretend, but I know what that is.
He sits at the desk and watches cameras all day.
A post, like an installation.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he was on a plane that flew around and kept us all safe.
The white and blue one, the Doomsday plane.
That's the one.
I know a lot about those ones. I love researching the Air Force and everything military. I love it. Yeah, I think we got like 4 or 5 of those. One on standby all the time.
That's right. And he did that for about 4 years.
Oh.
And he just got moved home, stationed close to me now. So I'm really thankful for that too.
This thankfulness is going to get rhetorical here in a second. Yeah, having a family close to you, that's true. My mother and her husband Harry are about 6.5 hours away, so it's not like a big jump when they're in Indianapolis, about 2 hours away, right? Or where my mom was. So yeah, having family close to you is definitely it's a thankfulness to have, especially when you need them. I mean, obviously we always need our parents and family members, but
he's been in the Air Force for 8 years, and he's been in Alaska, Nebraska, North Dakota, Dubai. So it's great to have him close to home again.
Oh yeah, Air Force. They got some missile men, I think, tubes, launchers in the Dakotas and in the upper plains or whatever. So yeah, it makes sense. But, yeah, that's good. Boy, you got to be close.
I'm thankful for my husband too. He's my main caregiver. Without him, I don't know where I'd be. He helps me get out of bed, in bed, into chairs, into the wheelchair, cuts my food up for me, cooks, goes to grocery shopping. He does everything.
That's the gentleman in the background I see during our podcast that's doing everything. He's making the show run from behind the scenes, right?
That's right. Gets me ready for the show.
Hey, that's the well, I don't know how they say it, but behind every good wife is a good man. Behind every good man is a good wife, and it's true. I mean, I see it every week with you. There's always somebody behind you that's taking care of you and even feeding you during podcasts, which is pretty surprising.
Give me my pills.
Yeah, all the pills. Yeah. That great fork of yours.
I have I have my caregiver sometimes in the background, or my husband. and they're only here when he's going to the grocery store. Other than that, he's here all the time. So I'm really, really, really thankful for him. Number one.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's talk about that. I mean, my wife married 21 years, and through thick and thin, and I mean that like probably every marriage, I'd imagine. Um, you know, our spouses know us with no matter if it's been 10 years or 21 years, but you know, nobody better to understand me and to know my wishes, my wants, needs, desires than my wife. And I'm thankful for someone not only that is, it's going to sound really weird, and don't smack me for it, but having a woman, I want to be clear about this. Not only am I thankful for being a husband and having a wife, because wives are definitely more compassionate than men, just by nature. Because if this was backwards, you know, I'm a pretty stone faced person. Like my daughters have broken their clavicle, their wrists and stuff on playing sports. So I'm like, oh, just walk it off. It's nothing. You're okay. Don't cry.
Wow.
It was always forbidden to really cry in my family growing up. So I'm grateful that I have a wife that is compassionate. That also worked in the medical institutions for a long time. And she has those bedside manners. She comes from a family, Mexican, right? But Latina, that one of the things they do better than most, not everyone, is they take care of the family. Like I said, I've never got my own food once in my life. I've always been served by my wife. She does things that I don't do. She's the person who, we have our roles in this world, husband and wife, man and woman, but she's definitely the person who goes above and beyond. She'll come out and help me fix cars when I can't do it myself. Especially the last couple of years, she had some issues fixing things, and she'll come out and just be there for moral support.
Oh, that's sweet.
She'll be there to hold one little bolt in place while I somehow move my jagged trimmering, shaking hands into place to get it done. It's somebody like that who's
That's good
also
jack of all trades.
yeah, oh yeah, it is. It really is. Especially getting dirty with grease, right? And the ability to forgive and forget. Oh,
Yeah.
I won't say forget. Nobody ever forgets, but to forgive. I think that's one of the more underappreciated roles of having just a marriage in general, but also having a terminal disease like MSA, where you have to be able to forgive, because if
Yeah,
you're not,
because I get really mean sometimes.
I've heard through the grapevine, yeah. The director of MSA told me that you were punching him in the hotel. That's all I heard. I'm just kidding.
Phil!
Phil. Yeah, no, but that's it takes a special person to stay with you through MSA. It takes a special
does.
person to know what's going to happen, to know how bad it's going to get, and still stick there by your side, for better or for worse. It is.
We've only been married 13 years, and I've been going through this for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, we only had 8 years of a normal marriage, and 5 years.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. He's been having to put up with me in MSA, and I'd say, it gets really emotional on the patient at times.
Oh yeah.
And you can get kind of hateful, take it out on the other person. I don't mean to, but he knows that. He knows when it's just the MSA kicking in, being the mean tiger or whatever.
Yeah, and sometimes, to your point, we're just talking about me jumping in and asking questions. To your point, like you said, sometimes having MSA gets lonely, and not for the reason that people are probably thinking, but when you have losing the ability to control your actions and thoughts, and like you said, you and me and other people going out, taking it out on your spouses or partners.
Outbursts of anger or emotional outbursts that we have.
Yeah, there's a time where I've started doing it. I noticed I do it for a reason, but I start not doing these things. I start questioning, speaking up, and because am I wrong? Am I making it up? Am I acting out of proportion? Right? Is it me? Is it MSA talking, or is it actually me talking?
You don't know. Sometimes you can't tell.
You can't. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy though when you start losing your memory. Like I started losing my short term, but you start losing your memory. There's times where you just don't know what the hell's going on. And I will say sometimes it's better to be quiet than to speak up and be wrong. But um, as long as you have that partner that understands the process, then continue to speak out for sure.
Okay. And my next person I want to thank is my real therapist. She's one that helps me with those outbursts of emotional crying, outbursts, and anger through the weeks. If it weren't for Jennifer, she's my earth angel, is what I call her. I don't know where I would be or what I would do. She really helps me get through those hard times. And she's been my therapist for 6 years now.
Is she a physical therapist, occupational? Is she
No, just a counselor.
counseling? Okay, I got one of those. Got two.
We have to have one of those being a
Yeah,
USA, though. You really do.
yeah. I encourage it. I encourage mental support in any way that's out. I don't care if it's religious or professional or whatever, informal. That's what it has to be for sure.
She's a psychologist, a Christian psychologist. So I really, really enjoy talking to her. I started out talking to her a year before I was started being sick or whatever. She's seen the progression.
Yeah.
She's heard the progression since I don't go see her physically, and each week she's like, okay, what's going on this week, Daisy? What chapter are we on?
Right, yeah. Right? Every week, every month is a separate chapter. And that's another thing is, it's so hard when doctors are coming and going. It's so hard to stand this. I've had so many therapists, psychologists, psychiatrists, regular doctors, neurologists come and go because they move, they find better opportunities, they buy a house out in Arizona or Florida. It's so hard if we had a lifelong problem that took 20 or 30 years, maybe not the biggest deal, but when you're constricted to half a dozen years, then you lose your caretakers, your doctors and advocates. You got to play catch up all over again. It's really interesting. I've been thinking about that last couple of days too.
Speaking of the doctors, my movement disorder specialist that diagnosed me, he got promoted to head of neurology and clinical research. And
what's his name?
His name is Rohit Dahl, Dr. Dahl. He's from Arizona. He's going to come on next month and speak with us.
Good. He's coming on next month?
Next month, yeah. So
excellent.
Look forward to seeing or hearing him.
Yeah, that will be interesting. That would be very fulfilling for anyone that's listening, for sure, including myself.
Very educational.
Yeah, I'm going to put a suit and bow tie on for that one.
Get dressed up, huh?
Yeah, get a little glass of wine while we're here. Make the best of it, right?
That's all. Nobody can see us.
I'll say something else. And, I don't want to go too far down a rabbit's hole with this one, but I imagine it applies to most people in life. Yeah, either you have things or you don't have things. Or either we're well off or we're not. I can tell you, as I told her today, my mother and her husband, I told him, I said, I wish that if I were in your circumstance and, I was in her place, that I would have the ability and heart to do what she did. My mom and her husband have been a resource for us for just not the last couple of years, but for a long time. Not everybody grows up and has healthy bodies. Not everybody grows up and has their psyches are perfect. They work properly or things like that. I mentioned that with my YouTube videos where I never had a clean break in life. I was always sick as a child. I had some weird diseases that are just crazy. Like I said, one of 8 people in the world to have this one pneumonia related to smoking, which is crazy. Just, if it's not for people, in this case, I'm talking about my mom and her husband, for their goodwill and wanting to help, who knows where we would be? It's so hard to find help. But, anytime I ever need anything, my mom and her husband are like, "What do you need?" Obviously, not for a box of chocolate and some more liquor at the liquor store, but but, but they happen to support, just like we're there for our kids.
Well,
Just
I
like,
have to be rhetorical and say that I can be thankful for my stepmom. My dad passed away, but she's still my
hmm
mom, and
hmm
she's a nurse. She takes me to all my movement disorder
yeah,
specialist appointments,
yep,
and she says, let me know if you need anything. She lives 5 miles up the road, so she's
yeah,
always handy. There's been times when I've fallen and can't get up. My husband was at home. It's before it got really bad. And I call her, Mom, I'm on the floor. I need your help. I've fallen down and I can't
like
get up.
literally, right? Oh, that's horrible. That's the one that's. I got my watch on. My watch when I fall, it'll send. It's done it before by an accident. It's called and sent emails and GPS to my mom and wife, and then I'll call the cops after 911 after like 10 seconds. But that's a scary thing to go through, But yeah, I have so many. I have a few people that have anything I need brought to me, whatever, and even Rosa, she's offered anything. I mean, even to move in and take care of me, even to sell her house, move in with us, and help take care of me.
No
I
way.
mean, that that says a lot. I mean, that's
I've told my mom to sell her house and come live with
right.
me.
Yeah, but it's hard to do those things. It takes a very special person to be serious about it. So
Like our last episode. That makes me think of
yeah, Trisha, right, moved in with
Susan.
Susan. Was it Susan?
Yeah.
Yeah, moved in with
All the
her.
way from Washington State to New York. It's a
Right,
big
coast to
move.
coast, coast to coast. So yeah, there's so many things to be thankful for besides the stereotypical. Oh, I'm happy for my 85-inch TV upstairs and my and my Yeti Blue X microphone. I'm here talking. Whatever, that stuff is long past. It's the things that are going to last and be there to the end.
Even with MSA, we can still be thankful for things. I
Yeah,
can be thankful for the humorous things that happens to us. Make laugh, make light of
true,
them, keep us
true.
going. Can't dwell on all the negative stuff, so just try to make everything positive as possible.
My mother mentioned that I think today. She says because we went to the lawyers to start preparing some documents, power of attorneys and things like that. And she said this today, literally on the way back. She says, "I can't believe how much you guys joke about your condition in a nice way, in a happy way." And I told her, I said, "You have to. If you don't, this thing will eat you alive."
Isn't that the truth?
So you guys joke about each other all the time. Like, yeah, I mean, it's true. I mean, Daisy cries a lot, and I pretend to do work on the podcast. I mean, it's both very true. We're not lying here.
No, that's what balances us out.
It does. It does.
It's funny. My mom really, I am thankful for her. She has helped us, like you said, so much lately. In the past few years that I haven't been able to work, she's been there for us. He can't work because he has to take care of me. But before, when he was working or when I was just starting to fall, if she was off work or she was right off the road, she was there to help me get up, or if I needed some stitches or whatever. She was
I
really
get
handy.
stitches. Man, I walk around. My wife would tell me a couple times a week. She's like, "What did you do to your feet or your knees, your leg?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" I look down, I'm bleeding. I'm like, I have no idea. Like, I hit something. I don't know what it is yet. I'll let you know when I find out. Yeah.
Wow.
We need those people to draw attention to our injuries and also help us from time to time. Absolutely. I'll go out on a limb here and say not a limb, but more distant thankfulness. But I'm thankful to have the opportunity to be on this God's given earth with the opportunity to still talk to people, to interact, to move around, to go outside. Again, it's not the way it used to be from 2.5 years ago, but when we think, I'm sure all of us have lost somebody spontaneously. We lost a good friend late last year to cardiac arrest. Probably my only friend in Northwest Indiana. I mean, true friend I grew to know for many years. And what my doctors and friends, family, and everybody else says, you seem okay with MSA. I sit there and say, well, I'm not going to complain because my friend never had the time to complain. It's
I had a chance to say goodbye.
never not a chance to do anything, right? It's all based on past history and nothing else. So, I'm happy to have just simply the opportunity to not have my life taken away from some random instant death of disease, that I actually have time to make
And
progress. You know,
I don't want to say too much because I wrote books about my life, but my mother and my father were both taken from me quickly, and they didn't have that chance either. And I asked somebody not too long ago, I said, would you rather have the chance to say some goodbyes to somebody or just have them taken away from you quickly? I've had both in my life, and I have to say, now I look back, I liked better with the ones that had. I don't like the suffering that they went through, but I like that I had the chance just to be there with them and tell them goodbye, and it's okay to go.
yeah, I think it comes down to the condition, the situation, the circumstance surrounding their passing, right? If it was something, stage 4 cancer or stage 5, whatever the worst thing is, they're dying of pain and suffering, and they got 3 months to go, probably a quick death or passing would be better. Like I guess like my father, which goes into probably my next thankfulness, which ties into yours, but and this sounds really horrible, but I'm thankful not that my father had a 12, 14-year condition that resulted in his death of overdosing on prescriptions. Not thankful for that.
No.
I'm thankful that I was able to see him go through it and learn from it.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
Because we spoke about this before, and I'm not going to say specifics on this one, but some people don't care about your condition. They don't ever come talk to you. They don't come around. We're not family anymore. We're not friends anymore. But
It's too hard for them, maybe.
Yeah,
They don't know what's going through their heads, just like they don't know what's going through ours.
right. And that's what I think bleeds people away, is being prepared for things or not. And you can't be prepared for what you don't know. I get that. But if there is a silver lining to my father's death and his long battle with a horrible nerve injury that spread to his whole body,
Wow.
it's that I was able to see. Like I told my mom today, I'm prepared. I've seen pain every day. I've seen it every aching moment. I've seen what the sun will do to nerve pain on the skin. I've seen what, like, a man in the military, or in the family. So what just a breeze in the summer will make him cry from pain because of the nerve damage. Like, yeah, I've seen it from time. I've seen my father doped up from too much medicine, from other things, from many things, trying to kill the sorrow. I'm not afraid to say it. My dad did a lot of things. Let's not pretend that we're perfect, right? But seeing him experiment and try things, both proper and improper, also shows to me
the good and the bad.
Yeah, at least potential and not potential. So, experiences tells us everything in life. I think life is nothing but experiences that we learn from. And of course, I wish obviously my father's still here, but that was going to happen anyway. So having that said, I'm happy for every experience I go through, because it's always an opportunity to
learn from it.
To learn from it and try to avoid the pitfalls of other people's mistakes, even if it's family.
Exactly. And definitely I can relate and understand that. So we have a lot to be thankful for, you and I.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I say it's best to focus on the positive things when you're going through MSA. Not if we focus on the negative things all the time, man, where would we be?
We'll be more angry than we are. Depressed and on tons of antidepressant medicines, and not that those are bad, but
what did I do to deserve this?
Yes.
Parties and
seriously, how many? I've read so many posts. I've read thousands of Reddit posts, just Reddit, of people on there with just not only MSA but any neurodegenerative disease saying, "Why me? Right? What did I do wrong in my life? Why is God punishing me?" Like, from A to Z.
You know what? In my book, I say that it's like I say, "Why not me?"
Yeah.
It's just like Job.
Job. Yeah, that's the third time we had on the podcast. You mentioned Job. Yeah. They through the book of Job, and he still prevailed. You know, that's.
Yeah.
I don't want that. I'd rather take MSA than what Job had. I can tell you that right now.
I think I might think the same thing there, David.
Yeah, it was a good example of the Job is in the book of Job. Absolutely.
Well, I would like to just wish everybody out there a happy Thanksgiving.
Me too. Happy gobbles, and hope you enjoy your pumpkin pie. And like me, I eat too much pecan pie, and my mom's stuffing and turkey, mashed potatoes. Like, it doesn't have to be Thanksgiving; it could be any food.
I'm enjoying the smoked turkey. I've never had smoked turkey, and this year I'm gonna have it twice. So I'm looking forward to some more of that. Get some more sertraline and big nap, and I'll be all curled up like a cat and be all good.
Yeah, that's true. Just want to oversleep for our next podcast, Daisy. Okay.
I'll try not to.
Well, I appreciate it. It's been wonderful. Not only are we thankful for a lot of things in our lives, especially still having time left, but those that are listening can be thankful as well for anything, be it big or something very small. That's what we're here for.
Absolutely. I hope we can find a way somehow that we can have our listeners join our show in the comments or something.
We can get to some type of live streaming, and by the way, Google has some live streaming, which we could talk about after this.
We'll figure out something so we can have you listeners on the show with us instead of having to listen to us later. But we like to make it take care of our mistakes.
Well, I'm not gonna have a job if you do that. I won't have any editing job. It's my job will be eliminated.
Well, then they'd have to hear our mistakes that you take away.
That's true. All my bad jokes. Yep.
Well, thanks everybody. Y'all have a great evening, and we'll talk to you tomorrow on Friday.
Thank you, Daisy. Thank you, everybody.